everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video I am going to just be filming a few days of picking some flowers and arranging them. I am just about to head outside and do a harvest from our backyard cut flower farm, and I thought I would bring you along to show you just some harvesting, arranging, and then taking some bouquets to some local stores around. I think today I will take you around and probably do like a voiceover to talk through exactly how I am harvesting some of the flowers. I am predominantly going to be focusing on dahlias, zinnias, and maybe a few straw flowers today, but I also need to go and collect some greens from the garden and just anything else that is looking pretty and in bloom at the moment. So if you like these kind of videos, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe for lots more gardening and flower farming content, and I hope you enjoy today's video. So the first things I'm harvesting doesn't really look like it's related to flower farming, and it's kind of not, but it kind of is. I am harvesting some tomato greens for my greens and my foliage for my bouquets. I have recently started doing this because I have so many tomato plants around the garden. This is all from my compost pile. You can see it coming out of the compost bins, and they make a really good filler foliage and greenery. It's not something that I would usually use as a greenery in bouquets, but now that I am using it, I actually see it quite often in bouquets and arrangements that florists put together. And yeah, I've seen a lot of them in magazines and books, and they look really, really pretty. So if you have lots around and you have some spare tomato stems, maybe give them a go, see how you like them. I personally really love the smell of them. That's something you do have to get over if you don't like the smell of tomatoes, but they just look really pretty because they have such vibrant green color and they last so long in water. So they're really win-win because I haven't had to do anything to grow them. I haven't had to pay for anything because they've all just self-seeded themselves from my compost and worm farms. And yeah, it's basically a free crop that I'm harvesting. The next ones that I am picking a bucket of are all of my zinnias. These are the Benary's giant zinnias, and they're just so beautiful and bright and go really well in my market bouquets. I'm demonstrating here when to pick them and how to harvest them. So you can see here I wiggled it at the start and the stem was quite firm, so it's ready to pick. And then I'm picking it just above one of the leaf nodes, and you can see here where I'm pointing to. This is going to shoot out and flower again. So wherever you do cut it from at the base, you'll start to see new shoots that will shoot out from there, and that's where you'll get more flowers. So it's really handy to make sure that you cut quite deep into the stem of zinnias. Same goes with dahlias and straw flowers, because the plants are a cut and come again flower, and this is a really good way to just make sure that you're continuously getting stems. I probably harvested this one a little bit too early, but it turned out okay, and they do uptake water overnight. But yeah, you can see here that I try and do cut quite deep into the plant, and that just means there's less foliage that may encourage powdery mildew to form on the plants. You want to make sure that there's a really good airflow with your zinnias in particular, because when they're planted too close together, they are much more likely to have some fungal disease problems, which I'm starting to see with the zinnias, but I am spot treating that with organic solutions. But it's just something to keep in mind, and yeah, a regular harvesting of all of the zinnias will really benefit the plants. This is me not actually knowing that Scott was filming, so I'm just chatting away to him and then realizing that he is, and I'm acting, you know, how every flower farmer does in their flower farm, is to just enjoy the beautiful flowers. Jokes aside, it is very hard work to plant and grow all of these, but I still like to enjoy all of the beautiful blooms that I do get to work around. Definitely not used to people filming, obviously. I'm just in my own world usually when I harvest flowers, and it is definitely the best part of being a flower farmer, is just enjoying all of these beautiful colours. Next up, I moved over to the dahlias, and this is again really similar to the zinnias in terms of how to harvest them. I've been having a little trouble with the dahlias, as I chatted about in my other video, just in terms of the stems not being too strong, but you do want to harvest them nice and deep like this one here to be able to have all of the new growth and the plant to kind of signal to send up new flowers. So I do like to do a pretty harsh cut on these, and that's really rewarding me now because in autumn I'm having such good blooms and quite a lot of stems of dahlias that I wasn't having at the start of the season. You can see all of those beautiful buds there and flowers already blooming. The dahlias, they definitely shine in autumn, and yeah, this is usually when you'll start to see maybe the flowers, they might start changing colour just a little bit. Obviously they'll stay fairly true to what you've planted, but I am seeing just slight variations in the colours of the flowers just as the temperatures drop a little bit overnight. I'm just doing a little bit of deadheading while I'm harvesting, making sure that I'm only picking the flowers that are not really affected by bugs, and any of them that are, I am just cutting them off the plant. And I'm also demonstrating here just those nodes on dahlias as well. If you do cut above these on the plant, like I'm demonstrating here, then the plant, obviously that'll be attached to the plant, but it will send out side shoots to create more stems and more flowers for you. That's so pretty. And then lastly, I am harvesting some lemon rush sunflowers. I let these go a little bit too long, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to pick all of them, but I'm just trying to pick a few that I know will last a little bit in the vase, and these are quite short, so I'm picking them and snipping them quite close to the base, making sure that none of the insides of the flower looks really fluffy. That means that it's just a bit older and the pollen is starting to develop and the plant is going to seed. And I'm also going to try and just pick some of them that have closed flower heads as well. Alright, I have just finished harvesting everything, and I didn't really end up picking that much this afternoon, or it feels like it wasn't that much, but everything is looking beautiful of what I did harvest. So I do have 2 more buckets other than these 3 here. I have that big bucket of zinnias that I harvested, and also a bucket of tomato greens and some feverfew. But I have a full bucket of the lemon rush sunflowers. They are looking a little bit paler than they did the first round. I think maybe either the soil is just a little deficient in a few things, or it's just the weather. Then I have a bucket of dahlias and other mixed flowers here. We have lots of pinks and purples. Some of them are getting affected by some bugs, but they still look okay. I've got some cosmos greens, a few straw flowers, 1 status stem, and yeah, that's about it for in there. I didn't bother filming too much of the little stuff. And I have a few more greens over here, like some bottle brush leaves, some westringia, and just some other greens from around the garden. So I think I've got a lot to play with tomorrow morning. I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, so I'm gonna head in, and tomorrow morning I will try and film me putting all of these bouquets together. Good morning, everyone. It is currently almost 8 o'clock. I'm running a little bit behind today. I wanted to ideally have some bouquets made by now, but that's okay. I'm going to get started now. I have all of my flowers laid out in front of me, so I will show you what my little setup is here downstairs. So I really don't have an outdoor space that's undercover to be able to arrange flowers. So I need to keep all of these in my garage at night, and then I move them into here, the downstairs room. The garden is out there and my desk is there where I edit all of the videos. And then this is all of my flowers here. I have like a little workspace there. It's really not the tidiest room, but it does the job and it works for me. So I'm going to set myself up here. I have all of my flowers laid out. I like to kind of categorize them in buckets so it's easy to find. So I have all my zinnias here, all of my tomato greens and some feverfew, my sunflowers, some little extra greens, and then this is like a miscellaneous bucket with dahlias, cosmos, straw flowers, just whatever else I had around the garden. So I think what I'm going to do is just set the tripod up and maybe make a few, and I'll chat through some of them because yeah, I really need to get moving and get arranging some of these. I also have like a container just for all of the scraps and the stems that I cut. Sorry, I'm completely out of frame, but I'm going to just make a few bouquets, and then once I get my recipes right, I will chat through how I'm making them. So I think this is the recipe that I'm going to stick to. I usually like to do things in like blocks of 3. So you can see I just have a center dahlia here. This is the pink show dahlia. And then I've got 3 yellow zinnias, and then I've just got 3 purple flowers. I've got some dahlias and a zinnia around the edges. All of my foliage is in there nicely supporting. And then I have a little bit of cosmos that is just hanging out and looking really pretty. So I think this is kind of the recipe that I'm going to make. These will be priced at around $20 for the bouquets. Sometimes the farm shop sells them for a bit less if the sales are really low. And to be honest, like I'd rather they sell than they don't. So yeah, that is the first one, and I will talk through the next one that I make. After I have it all, I just hold it in my hand, and then I find the shortest stem, or just move things down so they're all kind of like equal, and then I find the shortest stem and just like snip them all to that length. Like that, and then I will wrap this up with string, pop it in a bucket, and then I like to wrap them all with paper all at once when they're all finished. Right, so I'm going to start out with my tomato greens as a base. They look so vibrant in color, and they hold really well in water. So I just really like using these, and they're all popping up as volunteers around the garden. So it's a win-win. And then I'm going to take a dahlia for the center. So I like to kind of choose what color I am going to be working with. And I'm, again, sorry, I am out of frame, but just have to work with it today. So I think I'm going to do like a pink and lime color bouquet, because I have lots of the lime zinnias. This dahlia, the stem is not very strong and it's just been a bit bug damaged, so that's fine. I won't use that one. We will use a pink show, this one here. So I'm going to pop that kind of towards the center in between those. making sure that like the tomato greens are just kind of like around the center to support any other flowers. Then I'm going to grab some of my lime zinnias and place 3 of those around the sides. This one is absolutely beautiful. These are the Benary's Giant. Like that is perfection. That is so beautiful. The tomato green, so we have the center. I'm just holding this fairly lightly as well. And then I think we need some more pink. So I'm going to use maybe 1 more pink show dahlia and some pink zinnias. I really like this color that I'm not actually too sure what this is called, but light pink zinnias are quite beautiful. And then when I add flowers, I will move some up and move some down just to make sure that they're not like, that the petals aren't crossing over each of them. I'm actually going to add this dahlia here, a nice light pink one. I think that'll look nice there. And then I think I'm just going to use 1 more zinnia, which this is a Queen Lime Blush, I believe. And I'll just pop that probably right here to just fill in that side. And then we need just a little bit more pink in the bouquet, so I can either add like some straw flower in, which that looks quite nice, or I can add some cosmos, which I might just use the cosmos. And the cosmos, I like them to pop up above the whole bouquet. So you can kind of see it's like flopping up above there. And I will also use some that are nice and closed, like this one. And this will open up over the next few days. And then I'm going to finish this one off just with a little bit of bottle brush leaves at the very back to support it, and also just to give a little bit more greenery. So that is that one. I'm going to make about 4 more and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, we'll chat through the last one that I'm going to make together. You'll have to just excuse the background and the dehumidifier. It's just working with what we've got today. So I'm going to make another one, and this time I'm going to use some sunflowers. So I'm going to start out with my 3 tomato greens. And instead of a dahlia, I'm going to use a zinnia for a center focal flower. So I think I'm going to use this one here. So I'm going to just place that in the center so we've got some support on all sides. Then I'm going to take 3 lemon rush sunflowers and place them around that zinnia. So 1 there. I like to leave a few of the leaves on, and that way it also just provides a little bit more support and protects the flower. Just figuring out which way it doesn't completely rub against any of the other flowers. So that is our base, and then I'm just going to choose 3 more flowers for the surrounding outside. So I just went for 3 of the corals like that, and some of these sunflowers, they'll open up a little bit more. So that is what that's looking like. And then I just feel like I need a little bit more pink to balance this one out. So I'm just going to add in some pinky purple straw flowers or everlasting daisies. Sorry that I wasn't totally in frame the whole time, but that is that one done. Also, I wanted to say this, like the colors in this aren't probably one that I would gravitate towards too, but this is really important to just expand your comfort zone, because someone might really like this, and usually bright flowers like this do really well at markets and farm stores. So yeah, make sure you're picking nice bright colors. People really prefer this at the markets. But if I was choosing something, I would definitely go for more like the pastel and the lime colors. So I have made a few of those, but I like to just make like all different bouquets so they look completely different in colors to make sure that everyone is happy. All right, that is this order done. The farm shop wanted 6 bouquets, so I have made the 6 here. I still have a lot of flowers though, so I'm going to make up another, I can probably make up another 6 or so to take to another store. But I think these look really beautiful. Some ladybirds still on them. I think that this is probably my favorite. This is what I was talking about. I love like the lime and pink colors. I will try and get some better shots of these outside, but yeah, I love these so much. So I'm going to wrap all of these now in paper, and then I'm going to try and take some photos of them to then post online to tell people that they're available. So like you've seen in some of my other videos, I just used some brown craft paper to wrap the bouquets, and I try and just cut about 45, so about 45 by 55. I will turn it over to the longest side, and then I'll show you how I fold it to then wrap them. But I need to cut 6 of these. And then I like to have all of my other gear close by, so a stapler and my stickers. I print these on my Munbin printer, which is amazing. It's just like a laser kind of printer, so it doesn't actually have ink in it. But I've printed like hundreds of these stickers, and it's well worth the money if you are thinking of investing in one. There's so many different ways you can wrap flowers. This is my preferred method because it is super quick and super easy. I will take the right bottom corner and just bring it up to the top. And then I just want to, like make 2 mountain peaks up the top. The closer that you have the peaks, the higher the wrap is going to be in terms of like your bouquet. It'll sit above your bouquet, or the wider you do it, you can see it's going to be a lower wrap. So if you have a really complex, massive bouquet, I'd probably steer towards doing something like this, and then even adding another one of these and stapling it. I just have medium-sized bouquets today, so I think about that is going to be fine. And then you just want to fold down the bottom, have it straight, grab some scissors as well, you'll need some scissors. And then I find just off the center of the peak, so about here or so, I will cut like that. How much is this? This is about 5 centimeters. And then I take both of these sides and fold them over. Just like that. So that is what the base looks like now. And then your flowers are going to sit in here. So the stems will come out this side, and then it'll just make it really easy to fold it over. So I'll grab a bouquet and show you how I fold it over. We'll use this green and pink one. In terms of where to position it on here, you obviously don't want the paper in the water. So I like to pull the paper kind of down to the edge of the table that I'm working on. And then you want the majority of the stems below where you've cut the paper. So that means that wherever you fold it, so I'm going to fold it around here, then all of these stems will be able to touch the water, but I only really need like a little bit in the water anyway. I like to just make sure wherever I'm placing the bouquet that I'm not placing it down onto the flowers and crushing them. If I can put my hand back there and it feels nice and sturdy, which it does, that's a good place to pop it down. And this is also why I like to use like bottle brush leaves or feverfew or status, just to hold everything in when you're wrapping it. But I will simply just place that down there, and then it should be fine to sit without me actually supporting it and supporting the flowers. Then I'll take the right side and I'll just make sure all of the leaves are going to be facing up rather than crushing them. And then I'll take the right side over, bring the left side in, and then focusing on just like tucking it under down the base here, holding it up the top, holding it to where it's been folded. Sometimes I like to just pop it out because sometimes it can crease a little bit weirdly. And then I will grab the top two corners, pull it over a little bit more to tighten it up because I want these nice and tight to be able to travel well, but not too tight that they're going to crush the flowers. I also need it fairly tight because if I don't, this is just going to fall down into the water. And that's why it's important that you make that cut so that it can actually be supported. Right, so it's a bit hard to show you, but I will grab the staple and I will staple about here. Take that down, making sure I'm not stapling any flowers. And then that is all supported. Grab my sticker and then place the sticker just over. Oh, hello, got a little friend. I'll take you outside. So yes, now the sticker is over the staple, so it just looks a little bit more professional. I then just like to tug this up just a little bit to make sure that everything is all supported. And then that is all nice and neat and tucked away with the beautiful little cosmos shining above and all of the greenery like poking out as well. Right, I'm going to just grab a few photos of the blooms outside in good light. It's really good light because it is cloudy today, so there hopefully won't be too much of a glare. Usually I would take some on my DSLR camera. Scott's on a meeting right now and he usually helps me take the photos just because I need to stand a little bit further back to get those really nice shots. So I'm just going to get some on my phone today. If you are taking photos on your phone, you just want to make sure that you have really good light and you can get some really nice photos. So that's what I'm going to do for these, and then I will head off and go deliver them. I just went and dropped off all of the bouquets. It has been a very eventful morning, to say the least. Basically, the car battery died and I had to get the car jump started by 3 different people to get home. Firstly, at the place where I was dropping off the flowers, then I went to the mechanic just to see if they had a battery there. They didn't have the right one, so I had to get them to jump start it. And then when I was leaving, our car has this function where it just turns off just to save battery and to save fuel. And I forgot to turn that function off, so I was stuck at an intersection for a while until basically like 5 guys came and helped me push the car off the road, jump started again, and then we had an RMA come and replace our battery. So all good for now. So I am a little bit behind in making bouquets. I was supposed to drop some off to another store already, but I haven't been able to do that. So I'm going to finish making about 3 more bouquets. I have made 3 more down there, and yeah, then drop some more off at a different store. And I thought I would just show you again making a different type of bouquet because I have just different foliage and different stems left. I'm going to be a little out of frame for this as well, but I will show you making another bouquet. This time I'm going to use some bottle brush leaves. You can see how like nice and sprayed this is. It just allows you to place flowers all around it and to actually have a little bit of support. It also looks beautiful. It's nice and flowy, and yeah, I really like using this as a foliage. And then to add a little bit more structure into this, I'm also going to add some coastal rosemary. This is a type of Westringia, which is a native to this area. And I'm just going to place that in there to provide a little bit more structure to this bouquet. So 2 on either side, and this is a really, really good base now to be able to put the flowers all around. I think we're going to use some more queen limes in this one, and maybe this dahlia here. It is super pretty though, and I'm going to pop that into the middle, like up the back, so it is just popping out there. And I might also use this dahlia as well, and then we're just going to fill in with some zinnias. So I'm going to use some more queen limes to pop these around. So I'll start with 3 of those. So that's what the bouquet is looking like so far. Then I think it needs a little bit more colour, so I might add in another pink dahlia, I think. Or even like this maroon would look really nice. Maybe I'll do that instead. This one is Ned Kelly. So beautiful. And I'll pop that one behind the other 3 dahlias, so it kind of has a bit of a tiered look. I've got this straw flower, which will look nice in this palette, so I'll add that in. So I'm just adding another dahlia up the front. And then that looks really nice. You can still see like the spikes of the bottle brush popping out, so it adds just a little bit more texture. If I had more cosmos, I would definitely add that in. I have like a few, but I don't know whether these will eventually open. I think I picked that one a little bit too early, but it'll still just add a little bit of dimension in. This one should open though, so I'll add that in. Alright, that is where we're at. This is pretty good for value, so I'm going to leave that at that. I might just add in maybe just a little bit of these camellia greens, just to add a teeny tiny bit more green and move this cosmos into the middle. Alright, so that is that one done. That's basically how I make most of my bouquets. It gets a little bit harder towards the end, but I just start to pick colours that I think look good together. If you're really stuck on this, you can always get like a picture of the colour wheel, and there's 2 options here. You can either choose colours that are really opposite each other. They'll generally look really nice, like green and red always looks beautiful. Same with green and orange, and pink and orange. Or you can go for something like a warm toned bouquet where you're choosing all warm colours or all cool colours, and that'll also look really nice. So that is that one done. I'm going to just trim the edges. Might bring down some of these stems a little bit. So this is the end stem here, so I'll chop it around there. Then I have my string, and I just move my hand up a tiny bit, hold it just like that, get the string, have a good amount on the other end, and then wrap it around. And then I just need to place it down on something to be able to tie a bow. And there we go. When you're tying your bouquets, you just want to make sure that you're not tying it really tight so that you're cutting into the stem, but tight enough so that these stems aren't actually moving up and down. I like to just use some jute twine because this can just go in the compost. I try and just make everything compostable, like all of the paper, the sticker. The only thing that isn't is the staple, but I can't really get around that at the moment. It's the last thing that I'm trying to figure out how we can compost those, but at the moment we don't. But yeah, I really like this bouquet. It's definitely like one that I would choose. And it looks even good from down at this level with all of the Westringia in it, and yeah, really, really pretty. All right, these are the finished bouquets. The next round, sorry about the background noise, there's some mowers here at the moment. We do get some help with mowing the lawn, so I'm very thankful that they came today because it's super long, but This is all of the bouquets. I think this one is definitely probably my favorite. I just love the Queen Lime zinnias next to purple. That is a better look at it. So pretty. So these are all going down to my local garden centre. So I'm going to run these down and then probably just have a bit of a rest and have a bit of some lunch, I think, because it has been a crazy day. I'm really liking the look of all these though. I think they look so beautiful and hopefully they sell okay down at the garden centre.